just I'm going to start talking a little bit about myself. So I am a senior manager at CI&T. I have 21 plus years of experience, and before that, I used to be the head of Brazil. Head Brazil of the testing service at IBM, and also the head of intelligent automation RPA plus cognitive at Avonat. Other than that, I am a strategist. I love design thinking. I always thinking about ways to innovate. And my complete background was software quality. And nowadays, I just love to see the value for the client using Lean and making digital transformations. I love to share my knowledge, so I have been a speaker into several conferences, and along with the quality and also the agile, I love to do the agile engineering. My husband works in IT as well. He is a QA and DevOps professional. I have 12 dogs, 11 chihuahuas, and one stray dog, and I have two adorable kids, Isadora and Arthur. She is 14, and my dear one is 10 years old. So let us think a little bit. I don't know if you ever felt like this, but so you used to do your job, you used to like what you're doing, but suddenly you will start to feel a little bit cranky. You will start to ponder and to consider all the minutes that is going on, and you start to thinking, I really don't want to go there. I want to stay sleeping. I want to stay just thinking about life. I don't want to be here. So, and we start to say, oh my God, what this is so boring, this is so bad, what can I do about it? And then you start to consider what is going on. So why do I feel like this? Is it the company that I work with, or is this my boss, my leader? He's not being nice to me, or I'm not feeling comfortable. What is going on? But sometimes the thing is that the issues that we are going through, they're not having to do with the company. They don't have to do with your boss. They have to do with your daily activity, what you have been doing during your work. And one thing that I noticed several times in my life throughout my career is that we change. So our interests change, we change, and what we used to like, we don't like anymore, or what we want to prove, we don't want anymore. So, one thing that I have learned with the time is that we need to know ourselves. So I have here some things that we need to go through in order to understanding ourselves. What are your strengths? What is the thing that you are mostly strong? So here I have a link from the V assessment. It's a very interesting and nice tool. You go and you answer a lot of questions, and then what you get is actually a report that says what would be your strengths, or what would be the force that you have, the strengths that you have. This is really interesting because, and what we have learned is we have 24 character strengths in our lives. And one thing that we have noticed is that usually the top five, they continue to be the top five. So actually, it will change. Maybe the first can be the third, but it will always be important. So this is really interesting and important for us to really understand what is that makes us tick, what matter to us, what is our strengths, what we can share with our people. Other than that, after you start understanding your strengths, either is zest or creativity or anything at all, you can start to understand actually what would be your personal values. So what matters to you? what is really important to you. This is one of the most important thing for us to know about us, because if we haven't this exactly clear what matters to us indeed, what is going to happen is that if you are in a place that it doesn't respect your values, doesn't respect your needs, you're going to feel really hurt inside, and you're not even going to understand. So first of all, to start to understand what would be that change, what would be this, what you want, you need to know yourself. So every process we start by knowing ourselves. So now we know our strengths. We did the VIA assessment. Now we know our personal values. So what are our needs? What we really need? So I have my mission in life, I have my purpose in life, I know my strengths, I know my personal values. How can I tie all of this together? Now you know yourself. So let's beginning to understand a little bit about what is going on. So what you understand is that you hate what you do. So you start to question everything in your life, every little decision that you had, such as you go and say, okay, have I majored incorrectly? Have I chosen my wrong path, my wrong career? Is my whole life a lie? What will I do? Oh my God, what is going to happen now? And actually, it doesn't have to be that stressful, this change. In the minute that you really understand who you are, what you want, you just deal with it. So for example, I have a major in law, and after I have finished my graduation, I discovered that I didn't like that much law. So I said, okay, I need to change the focus. Where do I go? And at the time, my hobby was IT. I used to love to work in computers, to mess with the computers, games, etc. So I decided to start working with this, and it's paid really well, and it paid off for me. I'm really happy about it. But sometimes I start to wonder, and even in IT, I have changed the focus in my career several times. So I used to be information analyst, and then I decided I like it to discover bugs. And then I went to quality, and then afterwards I start to see that I like this agile world, this design thinking, and then I say, okay, so I'm going there. And so I change the focus again, even in IT. And I have done this about 3 or 4 times, and this is really interesting and it's worthwhile. And at least for me, it kept me honest and made things really interesting. So first of all, calm down. The world is not going to end because you discovered that you don't like what you do anymore. So you need to calm down and let's start to plan. So plan your change. So let us start consider some things. What are the skills needed to succeed in the career that you want? Remember, you now know yourself. You know what you want. So you know where you want to go. Okay, so you know you don't like what you're doing now, you know yourself, and you know what you want to do. So what are the skills needed to succeed? Do you need to take a formal course, or only readings will do the trick? What are the references you can follow on this, either Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn? What are the references? Can you shadow someone in your spare time? So, is there anyone in your company that is doing this that you want to do? And can you start doing some shadowing formally? After you have acquired some knowledge, after you have acquired some understanding of what is the thing that you want to do, can you doing formally pro bono until you get the experience to be paid for this? So, can you do some work for a friend, for colleagues, with this type of new job that you want to do. Does your current company have this position? Can you make a drop in into this position to understand if this is what you want? Do you have support from your loved ones? This is really important. You need to have the support from your loved ones so you can remain calm and to do this change. Is there anything else you need to know that you need to understand about it? So after this, what you need to do is to build your roadmap for this change. Treat the change in your career, the focus in your career, as a project. Okay, so what we do, we would need to understand the change, establish the timeline for this change, prepare for the change and change it, and track progress accordingly. So we need to really make a plan and to work toward this. So, what would be this roadmap? The timeline for this roadmap. First of all, we need to start. And how can we start this? You need to understand the change, and then you need to understand what is the knowledge gap. So, and you need to see really clearly what do you know today, as of today, in terms of in terms of the hard and soft skills you need to change the focus, and then you need to understand what you need to know in order to get there. And then you need to make this assessment, understand the gap, and plan accordingly what you need to do to fulfill this gap that you have. What is the market for this new career that you want to do? Where is the salary expectations that you have? What is the experience required? Can you do some course or some introduction course in order to start fresh into this? Are there any special programs that work toward this? So, for example, we have here at Brazil, we have several courses, several programs that teach programming language for women that are not familiar with IT. So if you want to start into the IT world, into programming, you can go to these special programs for women and they will understand this. What are the references and what is the future into this career, the trends and how you get there? After you understand the change completely, you need to prepare yourself for the change. So you need to build your knowledge. Do you remember the knowledge gap that you mapped? Now you need to build your knowledge upon this. And you need to start to understand what would be the positions that are into the market and the companies that are there. Start to map in LinkedIn. Understand the positions that are there, understand what the positions are requiring, and prepare yourself for this. Save money. Probably if you want to change and you are into a senior position, you may be back a little bit and start into uh, a lower role, and that's okay. So save money to get this and get buy-in from your relatives, from your family, from your loved ones. You will need that support throughout all your phase. Execution. So start small, starting understanding, and then start small projects to get experience into this new thing that you are doing. Do pro bono. So for example, when I start to do design thinking, what I did was I did this training, and I did the foundation training, the advanced training, and then I start to do some sessions internally with small groups, and I start to get experience and more experience, and then I start to shadow someone else into this session, and then I start to working, and then I start to build the experience, and then I start to got references, and Afterwards, I was prepared and ready to do this. So actually, we start after you have the pro bono and you start to build experience and to build your portfolio, you get the reference. And then you get someone that is going to refer you. Just start to advertising these references and to advertise yourself and the work that is going to do. After everything you have been doing, you just go to change and then you switch from pro bono to paid and leave your old job, your old work behind and start this new one. So it's really about to plan and to understand and execute. This is what I had. This is a really short talk. So do you have any questions, guys? Okay, so thank you very much. And if you want, feel free to contact me either on LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter, and we can keep in touch. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Actually, what I'm saying about work pro bono is not or in a company or in your own company. So you will start to doing this with your colleagues or in your company or with friends. That depends what you're going to do. But starting pro bono to get experience. It can be either in a company but inside your company. Don't leave your job before you have the experience. Okay, Sarah? Yeah, actually, we have this website here in Brazil. So in Latin America, it's Laboratoria, and it does several sessions with people. It's really interesting. It's a ONG. NGO actually, it's really interesting, and I believe that we have this elsewhere. I know about Brazil that we have the Laboratoria and the Programaria as well. So both, I'm sorry, both they get this and they do programming lessons for women. Usually what they do is a very selection, an application process, and then you do this free, and afterwards when you got a job with this you pay a part of your salary. Any other questions? No, Jenna. Actually, now in the terms of the pandemic, yes, they were offered online, but I think they were offered in Portuguese. But I think you can research. I'm really sure that as the same as we have here in Brazil and Latin America, we have elsewhere. Latin America, you can have those in Spanish if it's easier, but here in Brazil, it's only in Portuguese. Okay, thank you very much. So we'll keep in touch. Please feel free to contact me either on LinkedIn or elsewhere. Thank you very much. Bye.